Hello and welcome to the Midmarket Summit 2022. History. There's been a lot of it recently. We have been in the eye of a storm. Everything in a state of flux. How have we fared? How do we progress in the past? How do we progress now? How do we move forward and evolve? Well, it's not all doom and gloom. Technology is our instrument, our tool. It can help us prepare and overcome the challenges that lie ahead. In 2022, we listened to our partners and peers, customers and experts. Over 3 forums, we learned what they have gleaned from their experiences. That's what this Midmarket Summit is all about. The more perspectives we gain, the better the idea we have of what is before us. Each of us has a piece of the puzzle. All of us together has the bigger picture. We have put together the essence of those wide-ranging forums so that we can answer all those necessary questions. What do customers expect and how is it delivered? What do employees expect? How do we attract talent and hang on to it? What is the technology required? What are the best processes? How do we stay profitable? And how do we save the planet? In short, what do we know now that we didn't know before? How do we use all that knowledge to tackle the future and make the world a better place? Well, right here is a good place to start. But first, to mark this occasion and to honour your participation, SAP will plant a tree for every single individual attending today's summit. Do stay with us till the end and explore our 360-degree always-on platform. And now, a few words from Alain and Sandrine.
Thank you, Enda. Disruption, change, transformation, evolution. We know these words. We hear them with frequency. Because things are different now. Extraordinary times are what we've come to expect. Adaptation is a way of life. But we must do more than just react. We must take what we've learned and use it to shape our future. How do medium-sized business transform hard experience into positive action? Well, we believe in communication. Humans connecting. Assemblies, councils, universities and parliaments, summits and forums. A meeting of minds. We've been doing it for thousands of years, gathering the best minds in one place, exchanging ideas and proposing solutions. Let me give you a concrete example. During our Customer Experience Forum, we talked to Pierre Charbonnel, Head of Digital at Oxbow. Oxbow is actually an outdoor sportswear company based in Bordeaux. Years ago, they wanted to reconnect with their customers in a qualitative way to remove pain points and add value to the customer experience. Working with SAP, they wanted to gain smart insights, build scenarios, and deliver hyper-personalization. Pierre had at first glance a startling statistic. Once implemented, their listed customer base fell from 600,000 to 400,000 customers. Sounds bad, but Pierre is delighted. 200,000 of their original customers were people who were not interested in their promotional emails in the first place. What they now had were active, engaged customers who engaged more and believed in Oxbow and everything they stood for. Quality over quantity. Customers who won't leave and are now cherished. 2022 has been a year of reflection on what has gone before and what is to come. it has also been a year for preparation and action. A year to get ready for what's next. Isn't that right, Sandrine?
Yes, Alain. Since January 2022, we had 3 forums: Business Technology Platform, Customer Experience, Human Experience Management, meeting with partners and customers. We learned a lot and had excellent feedback. Customers, partners, salespeople and experts have come together to share their experiences and to address the challenges ahead. Over the next 90 minutes, you will hear highlights from our guest speakers. They touch on many issues: sustainability, data to value, hyper-automation, how to build a future-ready workforce, grow with automated HR, and redefine the workplace. And most importantly, how to deliver the best possible experience for our customers through intelligent commerce, omnichannel customer engagement, and a connected customer service. As a customer, you need to find the best software company that helps you through good and bad times in a scalable way. Your time is precious. The summit's purpose is to listen to what really matters, how they have overcome their challenges. I remember one customer who is running on our ERP and found out that they could also run its human resources department on SAP software. A partner who joined the event said that they found the right solution to scale up the business and offer more to their customers. This is why we keep investing in the summit and always-on platform.
That's right. You're about to hear from a wide diversity of mid-sized companies from across Northern Europe. Enterprise engaged in water supply, sports, pharmaceuticals, climate companies, jewelry, components, and much, much more. These businesses took on the challenges of recent times, learned from them, innovated, and evolved. And they told us how they did it.
They did it, Alain. RISE is key part of it. We have customers on stage who will share their transformation journey.
What is RISE?
Oh, companies are transforming their business to cloud more than ever. And RISE with SAP, a scalable ERP in cloud, is the answer to ensure customer agility, speed, and exceptional business outcomes. Today, for the first time, we also bring you Innovation for Life, a special panel to explore the idea of innovation itself, its meaning, its business value, its practical application for people, society, and environment. Businesses can move forward if there is an openness to innovate. Our guests will look to what was learned and how we can use that knowledge in the future. And we will be looking forward to our first in-person innovation forum in March 2023. The future starts now. Let's work together. Back to you, Anda.
Thank you, Anna and Sandrine. Now, let's look for some answers. In 2022's Business Technology Platform Forum, we explored 3 topics. 1. Profitable sustainability. How do we maintain our way of life while protecting our resources? 2. Turning data to value. How do we harvest valuable data to improve the way we do business? 3. Hyper-automation. How do we automate our processes to save time and money? Jesper, Timo and Vivian talk to a wide variety of industries, including computers, climate tech, water waste, e-gifts and sports data, to name but a few. Here are some of the highlights.
This was, a recognition that we were absolutely, delighted to hear, really, because it speaks specifically to our efforts in water management and the supply chain management to make it, more sustainable. when we look at, sustainability from an Intel perspective, it's really around, three specific vectors, right? One is around, manufacturing. The other one is around enabling the use of, technology to be more sustainable. And it's also from a people perspective. And really, this recognition, right, that we got last month, it actually was a highlight to our sustainability journey that started back really in 1994, when we released our first public environment, health, and safety report. And today we're committed to executing to our RISE 2030 strategy that we announced in May of 2020, where it's really about over the next decade to accelerate the integration of responsible, inclusive, and sustainable practices in our operations and supply chain across the technology industry and beyond. And within these goals, we have targets to run 100% on renewable energy, be water positive, and achieve zero waste in our operations, by 2030. And when we start then looking at it from also how we enable, how we work with the ecosystem to make technology be a way to solve some of the challenges that we have, we also have what is our Intel Rise Technology Initiative, where it's a way that Intel employees can work with customers and partners and how to apply technology to solve these sustainability challenges that we have globally. And then, lastly, from the people perspective, we recently promoted Todd Brady to the Chief Sustainability Officer. And then the other thing that we've done, and we've done it since 2008, is that we've also linked our executive and employee compensation to the corporate responsibility factors in our annual performance bonus. So this allows everyone to participate and benefit in meeting our sustainability objectives.
Well, from my point of view, yes, you obviously can, and I love hearing effectively Jordan describing the Intel playbook. It's simply brilliant, and kind of that internal adoption is just so important. But to your question, no, it's not an either or. It's very much a yes and attitude that is both needed. And to me, the way I look at this, it's integrating sustainability. I think Jordan had a great example here. This is to me effectively a license to operate. So, every investment, every change comes with some type of upfront cost. That's like, any type of investment does that. So how does the ROI look over time? It can be, uber short time frames, and it can be longer. In the terms of sustainability, it's pretty clear to me, kind of applying that license to operate thinking, that short term, I strongly believe that it's extremely important. But long term, if you take on the 10-year view, I don't think you're going to be around if you don't take this seriously. You have to integrate this both internally, but also towards your customer. I don't believe if you're going to just steer clear of the entire sustainability topic, I think you will have an incredibly hard time, retaining your employees 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now. I think you will be incredibly in a bad position, from tenders, RFPs, effectively losing customers if you don't take this seriously, because these are now being built into tenders, built into RFPs, governmental contracts. Forget about all that. So if you take that perspective, it's going to be extremely unprofitable if you don't take this seriously right away. Like me and my colleagues tend to say, the sustainability train has effectively left the station. It's going incredibly fast, and you better be on board. That's kind of my simplistic view on it.
Well, one of the most recent examples is the that we started combining data from our SCADA system with lab data and also ERP data, so that we can start monitoring our drinking water quality real time. This means that we have a real-time view on the drinking water quality of our production plants and water installations. So it means that people do not have to go into the sites anymore, take samples, bring them back to the lab, wait 5 hours, 24 hours, depending on what you want to test. So this is a very, very big advantage for Far East, and to be able to manage our drinking water quality much better and much efficient, more efficient than we used to be able to do.
Yeah, we're in the early days of the analytics journey, but it must be noted the company has a proud 100-year history. It's a 100-year-old company. They've been around a long time, so I can only speak to my own experiences. But certainly, recently, as recently as last week, Hemingway's was named in the top 50 growing companies in Yorkshire, and that with that growth comes challenges. And one of the challenges that we discovered was it's kind of a logical process. You've got data sources everywhere. We've got a lot of, as we say, software as a service platforms. There's a lot of information available in the business. There's a lot of automation going on, a lot of reports being sent out. But you start to ask yourself, who's seeing the reports and who's generating the reports and where are the reports coming from? And is this as much as the best way to offer this? Is this the most efficient way of offering this? And it kind of, I suppose you reach a logical conclusion that centralizing that and providing the ability to analyze that in a more efficient ways. And yeah, by all means, it's a matter of not being intimidated by it, and also listening to the requirements of the people within the company, not necessarily people like me who are sitting playing with databases all day, but people who are interacting with our customers, whether they be retailers, whether they be just end customers, and saying, right, what do you need? What could you use to make your life easier?
There's, I suppose, an internal answer in terms of the business, and also in our case in the market. I'll start with the market side. We're operating in a very traditional area in equestrian sports. So from a customer point of view, or from a client point of view, there's a really big belief in art over science. So one of the problems we had to overcome, one of those challenges, is helping people to understand the value of data. At the very basis of everything that we're talking about, we're trying to continually educate our clients. So that can make it difficult. You know, you're actually trying to tell someone the value of something and then ask to be paid to do it. So you're doing that double, you know, you've got the kind of the double challenge of that. Thankfully, I think we've seen over the last 10 years, generally, people beginning to appreciate the value of data more and more as it becomes more and more part of our daily lives. So we haven't had that challenge as much over the last 3 or 4 years. I would say internally, the challenge, I believe so strongly in people, because the systems are not fully dependent on them, but the business and the systems work, of course, with people. So we've continued, I suppose our biggest thing has been continually investing in people to manage the data, to extract value, to be able to communicate that value to clients as well. So while I wouldn't necessarily say it's a challenge, it's certainly the piece of the system that I've been very confident the technology works, the technology runs itself, making sure that people can, I suppose, be part of that journey, help it to work, make it work, help that communication. That's been the piece I've really focused on.
Well, I think depending on the situation, you measure it on a different level. The easiest way to measure things is, for example, as a drinking water company, we are regulated. So we have to give a lot of reports to government and so on. There, it's easy to calculate if we have good analytics, how many time do we spend in it, and how fast can we deliver that data. That's the easy part of it. But we also use analytics to give our customers insights in their water usage. So this is something we provide as a public service, how much water do you use in comparison with a similar family or whatever. So this is measured in public obligation and also customer satisfaction. You cannot measure that in euros or in dollars if you want to. But I think the most important for improving your overall business is the amount of improvements requests you see coming in, because they have data available, and then you get, I see that in comparison, or I see that we are doing a lot of time on this type of process. We need to look into that process again and try to make it better. So these are the three most important things where you measure how you can get benefit of analytics.
So what we've done at Evernext in the past 2 years and 2.5 years is to redesign completely our digital platform with the concept that the digital platform is an enabler to business. And as I say often, the digital is not an objective, it's a means to reach an objective. And what we were trying to achieve, we were trying to provide to every single person at Evernext the best tool, the best environment for them to operate this day-to-day task and focus on where they add value. And another very important component of our digital strategy and our mission statement is that we want to enable productivity for our people, but also to enable a new range of services. We strongly believe that thanks to the technology, we can enrich the services we deliver to our customers today and prepare foundation to deliver even better services for tomorrow. So to do that, we redefine a digital platform where we selected for every areas, for sales, for stock management, for finance and so on, what we believe were the best tool. And we built strong interconnection to create one single platform using different systems.
Well, recently I read a research that stated that while many occupations are not fully automatable, 60% of occupations have at least 30% that is technically automatable. That's something we really believe in, and that we've seen in practice through the implementation we did earlier this year within our group. We started rather small, but we believe that the capabilities of automation are rather unlimited. We think that's something that will be evolving automatically into this. Will be evolving into an automation with bots supported by humans. I believe it will always be a combination of the two. And I hope that within the next few years, we can see also a bot supported by artificial intelligence. I think that would be a great improvement, so that to further increase accuracy of those bots, the intelligence of those bots.
Balancing sustainability and profits, a circular economy, the value of sophisticated data, the benefits of hyper-automation. Business technology has come a long way in a short time. Next up, the customer experience. In 2022's Customer Experience Forum, Amaury travelled Europe to talk to companies that are involved in surfboards, diamonds, jewellery, delivery services, and much, much more. Here are some of the key takeaways.
We use a lot of emailing, and I think it was a lot before. It used to be a lot about sending campaign to a lot of people, and obviously our inboxes are full and we don't read any emails. And we use a lot Smart Insights, for instance, which help us categorizing our clients and making sure that the only emails you're going to receive are the ones that are useful for you. But I'd say it's a combination of several tools that we use, because Smart Insight allows us to separate our customers based on how they interact with us. But we can also, based on that, we build some scenarios with the tactics. And with those scenarios, we can make sure that you're not going to receive the same email as another customer, but you're just going to receive an email when we think it makes sense for you to receive that email, and that email should be interesting for you. And we're not about just acquiring a lot of customers, but we're more about taking care of our customers, making sure that we have like good lifetime values. And so Smart Insights helps us a lot with that. Tactics also. And yeah, we're connected also with the Web Extend, so it helps us know how you interact on the website. And depending on how you're going to interact with us on our website, we're going to send you different communications. So yeah, I think it's a combination of all that helps us going towards hyper personalization. And I think that's really the future of user experience.
You talked earlier about agility and how Oxbow reinvented itself in its model and its product. Then you talked about customer centricity and being able to address all your customers all around the world in a very identified way and personalized way. You just gave the example of Smart Insight and pre-built tactics in the platform that help you achieve this vision. Since it's a customer experience forum based on inspiration, can you inspire us and the people looking at us right now with some key figures of transformational figures that you gain from using this SAP technology?
Well, I like to give a figure which doesn't sound good at the first time, and it's a bit shocky, and that's why I like it. Since we're using all of those products, our customer base went smaller than it was, but because we went from I think 600,000 customers to 400,000, but we had 200,000 people in our database, in our customer base, that didn't care about the brand anymore, and they were just here because at some point maybe there was a coupon or something, and they were like dead ends. And we are proud today that the customer that we have in our customer base are all active. So I take pride in having a smaller customer base, but a customer base that are interacting with us much more. So yeah, I think that's the key figure. And what I'd say is it's not important to have like a lot of customers if they're not qualitative, but it's better to have like a smaller base with people that are here for a reason, and they know your brand, they know why they're here, they know the benefits of being here, and you're cherishing them in a way that they won't leave you, and they were going to consume the products and everything.
Well, I'm head of marketing, and within the team, of course, the customer experience is our main priority. A data-driven approach is where we're making steps forward in order to have this special moment for our customers. Well, by implementing the SAP tool, we are able to be even more personal and relevant within that experience. And we believe that impressing, but also helping our customer by creating a moment before they even know it themselves, we are the ones that are able to give suggestions and to be partner within their personal journey. Well, the aim of our strategy is actually to understanding today's changing consumer and create individual customer journeys. And we believe the impact for now is mainly organizational. The transition from a traditional organization into a more data-driven approach comes with challenges. But we now already see the impact by, in the way of thinking, doing, and being in a more customer-centric way pushed by data. And that is an achievement, I believe, what we all do, is needed in order to make the next steps. So we are not there yet, but I believe nowadays the customer engagement technology develops most organically over time, and that also happened at Hassan. But now is the time to make the next step in the customer experience. The first impact could be defined as the organizational change, which is of course the most important one. to start with.
It was a really big change when lockdown happened and COVID hit in 2020. As a business, initially we made the decision to close all of our branches. We have branches across the UK, and instantly overnight, all the doors closed. We went away as a business and worked really hard on how do we serve our customers digitally? How do we give them the same proposition that they would have if they walked into one of our stores and spoke to one of our agents or branch managers through the web? The web business was relatively small at the time. And so we went away, we worked on things like click and collect, a really safe, contact-free click and collect and delivery model. And after a couple of weeks, we reopened our business and the website and instantly saw a huge amount of growth. Our industry, being tool hire, really benefited from COVID, I'm not going to lie. People were stuck at home doing DIY, they were doing gardens, they couldn't go on holiday, they couldn't travel. So a lot of people were working on the house. And we saw a huge increase in traffic, in customer demand, and in general sales through our digital channel. So there was a lot of work that went on behind the scenes to make sure that we could work safely with our customers. We could deliver to them safely. They could use a contact-free click and collect, but also trying to answer a lot of questions. There was a lot of uncertainty. We introduced things like an artificial intelligence chatbot to answer questions. We increased our customer experience team through our live chat. We increased our offering to our customers to make sure we could give them as much as possible. So lots of changes to the business through COVID, but really it was a big push towards digitalizing what we already had. So yeah, we've been with SAP for a number of years now, and it gives us the freedom and flexibility to offer our customers all those things that you mentioned, that great customer experience. And the nature of our product and the nature of our business being slightly different to that traditional standard e-commerce, where you buy a product and the product gets delivered and you keep the product. We work in tool hire, where you hire a product for a number of days or a week, and then you return the product. And you may want it for a longer duration. There is questions around availability if you want it in the future. So all of those slight complexities and differences to standard retail mean that we need to customize and we need to change our approach to how we present information to customers. How that standard e-commerce checkout journey changes. And SAP gives us the flexibility to do that. The customizable way that we can present information, change that checkout flow. That's all part and parcel of one of the reasons why we work with you guys. Yeah, it's a good point. I think the fact that we grew so much in lockdown and through the COVID last 2 years, that wouldn't have been possible without SAP. So all of that growth that we've experienced, I mean, I look at the numbers versus 2019, we are 160% up versus where we were. A huge amount of growth that's sustained. Our share of business internally, the digital side of the business, has grown and continues to grow, which is really exciting. And SAP is definitely part of our growth plan for the future. So upgrading our platform is definitely on the roadmap to give us, as you say, the agility and the flexibility to make sure that when we need to make changes and customize, we can do it as quickly as possible and give the customers that great experience.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is a central part of our core strategy. And in fact, as well, if you just look at generic kind of stats out there, you could see that companies that do invest in customer experience and are user-centric tend to outperform those companies that do not. But I would like to take a little bit of a different angle to it, and I would like to look at what is actually happening on the largest companies, within the largest companies in the US, named SAP 500 as an index. And looking at the average age of one of those companies, they used to be kind of middle-aged, as you and me, I assume, and but that's no longer true. It's down to age of a teenager, and something has happened during this time. So it's quite dramatic, actually. And you might wonder, how is that linked to customer experience? Well, I will come there, since that means the change is happening super fast, but it's going to increase in speed. So it's not decreasing. And looking at the data ahead of us, so the coming 10 years, we are expecting to lose 50% of the well-known companies that we have today during the next decade. So that means that a number of new companies are coming into that index, growing new names, but also old names are disappearing due to several reasons. So the challenge becomes how to stay relevant. And the only true kind of connection that I see is that to ensure that you bring customer value. An American writer named Maya Angelou, she said once that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. That is, for me, customer experience.
Increased profits in a time of great change? Surface repair and improvements? Capturing customers' hearts? Reasons to be optimistic and future ready. With the right processes and happy customers, we can tackle anything. But we need something else as well. Happy employees. Yeah. All right. The SAP HR Suite is giving companies the means to do just that. Enhanced decision-making for human resource leaders, great user experience for employees and managers, and a secure, agile human resource system for fast-growing companies. That is the power of our technology. But you don't need to take our word for it. Our dear customers can tell you themselves about their human resources transformation journey.
Well, first, the challenge, as always, includes engaging different stakeholders. And as I mentioned, we have a very decentralized culture. So we had to bring everybody into this global project, building a harmonized and consistent HR framework. People had to find time to engage on the project, on top of their jobs, and even overcome for us situations in countries where we didn't even have HR counterparts to provide input and make functional decisions. So I think a lot of companies are facing these challenges, which we knew we would face. I think that a lot of things. There were a lot of expected challenges. We always know in a project that we underestimate the workload internally. We always know that there will be some functional gaps, some delays, etc. I think, however, we had an overall successful project. We found a partner that was very open to adapt its methodology, its approach to our constraints and limitations. So when we were facing an obstacle, we had a very open discussion, and we were able to adapt this methodology to our context, which was extremely important to us, because I think with a very rigid project approach, I think we would not be here today. And also, communication on quick wins was very important. We didn't go for a big bang in the project. We had a first step, which was to implement our core HR, which was really the foundation for our payroll, because it's the master system that will then drive data for payroll. And of course, the core system for our talent processes. So core HR came first. Once we were able to communicate on that first success, then we elaborated on the different successes we had. And I think progressively the HR teams and the end users really saw the added value of this project. I think in general, having implemented a global system through SuccessFactors is helping us to drive change in general. Simple things like employee and manager self-service. We just mentioned, changing our addresses, managing our own data is a big cultural change for us, because before people just went to HR, asked HR to take care of it, etc. So it helps us to empower more managers and employees. So first, it drives this culture of empowerment through these simple examples. Then I think if we look at goals and performance, this definitely helps us to build a more performance-centric culture, simply because prior to that, we had very inconsistent ways of managing goals and performance. Today, we're able to better link our company goals to individual goals. So people have probably more clarity on their contribution, what they're doing, where they're going. Also, I think this also enables us to better spot our talent. I mean, at a corporate level, through one process that is reported fairly easily, I can have access to high performers in all the countries. So that's something we didn't have in the past. So in terms of talent spotting, that's extremely helpful across countries and across business unit. I mentioned earlier the added value of the learning module. Again, we have a lot of compliance requirements, deploying global compliance trainings related to code of conduct, related to data privacy and GDPR. And so today we're able to have a global reach and therefore to diffuse this culture of compliance and change behaviors. And in general, these learning tools can have an impact on our employee induction and having a more consistent onboarding message. So I think, if you look at it, every part of what we have implemented has a role to play in changing the culture and potentially behaviors.
Well, I'm very excited about implementing the learning module. It will be for next year, but it's going to be a really plus for our employees, but also for us, since we're doing our learning program through Excels and other ways of follow-up. And it's taking a lot of our time to do the administration behind these processes. So it will be really helpful to have a system like SuccessFactors to help us with the administrative side behind these processes, so that we can, as HR, focus more on the quality of the process and focus more on our employees, actually. What I'd also like to mention is that I find it a very big advantage to have all our data in one system. Nowadays, it is becoming very important to have all our data to give the right reports and the right feedback to our managers and leaders. And one system in one technology, it's going to be a great help to give and to deliver all these data. So that we can.
No, it is not. And it's not something that we've really done on an HR side before. And so it's important to understand that we're undergoing not just a system transformation, but we're also undergoing an HR shared service transformation. So within the past couple of years, we have started building an HR shared service team in Sofia, Bulgaria, and then another one in Mexico City and Brazil. And so the point of the shared service team is they are big employees. And what they are doing is they're taking over transactional opportunities within what we call our big seven.
Okay.
So the only reason they're called our Big Seven is because that's where we have the most team members.
Okay.
So they are responsible for those 7 countries from a transactional HR perspective. And so we are in the middle of implementing that at the same exact time as we're implementing success factors.
Right.
So it's an enormous amount of work. There's a lot of knowledge transformation or knowledge transfer that has to occur between the local HR and the shared service team members, because they are big employees, but they're not familiar with those country processes and what's going on in country.
Of course.
So they're having to tackle all of that. In the meantime, the only way we can satisfy the needs of the other countries is to provide them with a system to be able to do it. And that's why we're going, down the path of success factors. So the processes that the shared service team is doing for the larger countries, those processes will be the same processes for those smaller countries. And you have to make a decision when you're implementing a system on a global basis, is how much of that system is going to be customized and localized, and how much of that system is going to be global.
Yeah.
We made the decision that the system was going to be global because the problem we've had is everything was localized.
Yeah.
So we're trying to transform into this global atmosphere where we have some standardization between countries on how we do things. And so that was the decision we consciously made at the very beginning of the project.
People want to have the capability they need to do the things that they need to be able to do when they want to do them. We're in an always on, aren't we? And I think, would you agree that that's the expectation today? It's almost, that's the table stakes, isn't it? Outside of work, I can do everything. I can do everything, right? I consume, it's a digital experience that I design. Would you say that that's the sort of mindset with BIC as well?
Absolutely. And we're looking more and more toward things like mobile applications for our managers and even our team members who are on the go, constantly on the go. It's the way of the world now. Yeah. And it's funny because in our factories, obviously they don't have necessarily access to computer systems in the factory when you're operating on a machine. But we can provide them with tools like a mobile application where they can go in and they can view their information at any given point in time. They can change their address or do whatever they need to do. And I think sometimes in some leaders' minds, and I'm not saying at BIC, I'm saying in general, the thought process is, oh, well, they work in the factory, so they don't need it. Reality is they're using their mobile for their banking, they're using their mobile for Google or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
They're actually very intuitive when it comes to those types of things. And to say we won't do those processes or those systems with factory folks is, to me, very short-sighted.
I agree.
Because we can give them so many opportunities through something as simple as a mobile application. And so we are going in that direction for sure.
Wonderful, wonderful.
But I would say the first one would be never underestimate the resources required to do a transformation. I think it is very easy to say on the surface, this looks like a big project, but we can manage that, 50% of your time here, 50% of your time here. Yeah. That is not the case. And if you do not have the resources, then you will not be able to meet your deadlines. It's going to become an enormous stressor for your organization, and you want to avoid that. So try at a minimum to really look at what your end state is and really build the resources around it. Not just, and this is important too, not just for the project implementation itself, but also when you go live.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole body of resources that are required to get this, to sustain it.
Yes.
Not only sustain it, but then look at opportunities for further enhancements, etc. But don't underestimate the work that's involved in that. Yeah. Because with any system, there are going to be pieces of that puzzle that are very complex and that require a certain type of skill set or multiple skill sets. So that would be one on the resource side.
Okay.
The other one would be on the change side. And it is, when you're doing this type of, for us, it was going from Excel set spreadsheets to an entire system.
Okay.
So this is a massive change when you're talking about team member self-service, manager self-service, HR self-service. The change management involved is enormous.
Yeah.
And really reach out to your peers, reach out to other people, SAP, your implementation partner, as many people as you can to get feedback and understanding of how they did their change management.
Yeah.
Because without the effective change management, it won't be adopted.
I think what plays an important role within the phase that we are now with Trespa is that we would like to align our HR strategy with our business growth strategy. So in order to do that, we wanted to facilitate a growth culture, a high performance culture. And we were in need of the right technology to do that, the right IT infrastructure for that. So we are now currently implementing our new HR service delivery model. We are professionalizing processes. We put managers at the heart of the people agenda. And we think that the implementation of SAP SuccessFactors will enable this to structure and also embed this new way of working within Trespa HR. Yeah, so I think for me, it's not one piece, but it's the fact that SAP SuccessFactors covers the full process from hire to retire. So we wanted to have professional, integrated and compliant data. We wanted to have our people processes according to best practice, but also like suitable, workable for a complex international organization that we are as Trespa. So I think it's really the full process that amazes me within SAP SuccessFactors. And our goal also was, as HR Trespa, to expand the tactical and strategical support to empower the management and employees to be a role model of the high performance culture. And this could be enabled by the suitable IT infrastructures and which covers the full hire to retire process.
Yeah, I'm going to sound like an echo here because exactly the same. You know, we had zero control over our data. We didn't know what individual sites were doing. It was kind of a bit of a free-for-all, bit of a wild west in terms of the processes certain locations were following. So to have that, as you say, centralized, one source of truth. Hire to retire, exactly that. We see the candidates coming through onboarding. You know, before we had this system in place, our main source of recruitment filing was people coming into store and dropping off their CVs. So, you know, to move to an automated system where we can follow someone's journey right from visiting our jobs website, following that journey through even onboarding into their job job history, linking their KPIs and performance to the remuneration decisions. It's a full package. We now feel like we have control over our back office function, and that enables the leaders to make really more strategic decisions based on what the company is doing. They can see the financial data, they can see the HR data. It's all in one place. Hopefully, the decisions they make are then based on better information.
What about the transition to cloud?
Huh? Oh, yes, the transition to cloud. Core business processes in the cloud have become the new standard paradigm for companies to increase efficiency and reduce business risk. RISE is SAP's answer and will secure customer transformation to the cloud and improve agility. Today, you'll discover how you can transform your business seamlessly into the cloud across all lines of business, including travel, human resources, supply chain. I could go on.
Please stop.
Okay, I won't go on. Our moderator, Sane, is here to kick off the session. Hi, Sane.
Thank you, Enda. I am excited to be here with our guest speakers today. I suggest that we just jump straight into it. And I would like to introduce our first guest speaker, which is Mark from Bevel. Mark, why don't you go ahead and share with us the mission of Bevel as well as the transformation journey that you have been on so far?
Hello. Let me briefly introduce Bevel. We're a social non-profit organization. We are a very local Belgian company employing over 2,000 employees. And we primarily employ people with a distance to the regular labor market. As a business, we serve various industries with a broad offering of added value services. In the past, Bevel was primarily focusing on providing employment for the employees. In our recently adjusted mission, we have set two very clear ambitions. First, we want to become the absolute champion in developing people with a distance to the regular labor market. So development becomes our core business. And secondly, we want to become the most renowned and the reference social enterprise in Flanders. Now, to do so and to support this mission, we started a while ago our modernization and digitalization journey. First, we rolled out the digital workplace based upon the Microsoft 365 cloud offering. Last year, we technically migrated our entire SAP ERP landscape to RISE private cloud. At this moment, we are exploring and rolling out the new Fiori user interface, embedded analytics, and a bunch of small process optimizations and new functionalities in S4.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark, for the introduction. I will come back to you in a bit with a few more questions on your transformation to S4 private cloud. In the meantime, I would like to introduce Bart from ADP Safegate. Bart, why don't you go ahead and explain us a little bit about what you do as a company and also the business benefits that you have achieved by transforming to S4 private cloud.
Okay, so ADP Safegate, so as a company, we are active in the aviation industry and we focus on airports. So we deliver products to more than 2,500 airports distributed over 170 countries in the world. So a very, very international business. The solutions that we have include, for instance, the lights for the runways. We have docking solutions for the aircrafts, but also complete management solutions for the operations that take place on the airfields. Now, the benefits of moving to the private cloud edition of SAP. So we wanted to have a full cloud solution because we have a cloud-first strategy for all business applications. But for the ERP, we want to have the full customizing or configuration possibilities that you typically find in an on-premise solution. And the offering of SAP, the private cloud edition, is quite unique for that. And that allows us, of course, to configure all the processes that we have in an optimal way. For instance, now we have streamlined all the intercompany processes for over 25 countries. And we are getting the benefits out of that.
That's really impressive. Thank you for sharing, Bart. Now, our last guest speaker, Dimitri, we are glad to have you with us here today. So Dimitri, please let us know. We hear a lot about RISE with SAP from our partners, from our customers, and of course, SAP itself. Dimitri, as the expert, can you explain us what RISE with SAP really is?
Good morning, Sana. And before I answer this question, let me maybe start by reiterating that the strategy of SAP hasn't changed a lot over the last years, which I think is a good thing, right? So it's all about making every customer an intelligent enterprise. But throughout the last years, we've been expanding the strategy with a greater focus on business processes and sustainability. I think it's safe to say that SAP now offers the most comprehensive cloud portfolio in the industry. This is tightly integrated based on a common data model and a consistent user interface. I always say that RISE with SAP is then the vehicle to get you there. It offers a subset of solutions, obviously with S/4HANA Cloud at the core, plus the services and accelerators needed to get your journey started to become an intelligent, sustainable enterprise. And this regardless of your point of departure. And I add that because we see a lot of customer journeys nowadays. Customers who go in a full holistic transformation in one go, but you also have customers who want to do a technical migration with us to the cloud, so that they already can start taking benefits of the model. And since the official launch of RISE in February 2021, which is now 20 months ago, we have already 2,400 customers opting in for RISE with SAP. And we see a tremendous growth every day, because every time SAP launches something big, everybody's really looking, the partners, the customers, like, is this really real? Is this to stay? While now I think everybody realized there is no plan B. This is the plan A. So everybody, and we see really a snowball effect nowadays in our customer community.
Okay, thank you very much. And Mark, as I said to you before, I will come back to you, especially also because I am aware that Bevil was one of the companies to jump on the opportunity to go on S4 RISE to begin with. I am curious to know what were the business drivers that made you move towards S4 HANA Cloud?
Yes, of course. Maybe important to know is that the primary business driver for Bebel is that our board and management team have a firm belief that standard and leading cloud solutions are the only way forward. We as a company want to embrace the future with the latest available technology from market leaders such as SAP and Microsoft. This to provide the organization a stable and scalable platform for future growth and primarily innovation as well, coming almost out of the box. Another business driver was scalability. With a subscription-based or cloud-based subscription model, we can easily adjust to changing market conditions and business requirements. In our particular case, we were also able to significantly reduce the total cost of ownership for many of our applications and also for S4 because we were able to reduce, let's say, the number of service providers in the overall service model of our SAP environment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you very much for sharing this. I just want to take a brief opportunity as well to touch upon other business applications as well, because Bart, you and I, we had a discussion last week where we saw that ADP SafeGate has chosen several other business applications from SAP. I wonder if you could please share with us which ones and also the advantages that you're seeing of running a full landscape from the same vendor.
Yeah, so we have, as company, cloud-first strategy for business applications, and gradually we made the selections. And in the end, we have implemented quite a lot of solutions of SAP working nicely together. So it starts with success factors and that we are using for the employee management and also the performance management. And we have the CRM suite of SAP. We have also implemented CPQ, which is for the quotation management. Concur for the travel expenses, and then of course as cornerstone the ERP at the private cloud edition. Reason for standardizing on SAP is that all the integration comes kind of out of the box. There is always a little bit of work to make the interfaces, but because it's native SAP, the applications speak well to each other, and that brings a lot of value. For instance, if we have a new product or a change in the price, we update the ERP and automatically it flows to the CRM system or the CPQ system, so that all the sales offices are using the right pricing information, the right product information, etc. Similar scenario, for instance, for onboarding and offboarding employees. So just updating it in success factors and it ripples through the whole landscape, whether it's in Concur, whether it's in the ERP, etc. So this brings a lot of value, and because it's all native SAP with a very limited cost to integrate all of that.
That's really good to hear. And indeed, I would say that the whole is definitely more than the sum of its parts in this case. So Mark, we had a discussion as well before, and I know that Bevel has other business applications on their roadmap. Could you share a little bit more about that? And I wonder as well if you have any good advice to other companies who are in the selection-making process when it comes to choosing new business applications.
Yes. In parallel with the conversion of our financial and logistical processes towards S4 private cloud, we have one major program on the roadmap. We are currently investigating to which degree SuccessFactors can enable and support Bevel to become the absolute champion in the development of our workforce. We firmly believe that for our type of company, a best-in-class approach is from different angles the best solution. This way we can limit the number of applications and service providers to manage. We can limit the number of interfaces and related upgrades to manage. We can offer similar user experience across platforms for our users, so many advantages. Of course, it helps a lot that SuccessFactors is a leading HCM solution, which most likely will cover all of the requirements today and beyond tomorrow. Giving advice to other companies without knowing their context is difficult, but I can only share what works for Bevel. A best-in-class approach can bring a lot of value and advantage if you're willing to adapt and align your standard processes with standard innovative solutions from leading software providers.
Thank you very much. I think that there are many companies out there who are also watching this panel right now, which will take benefit from the good advice which you're sharing. Bart, I want to return back to you because, as you mentioned before, you are running a full SAP landscape. And I'm aware that you are an avid user of SAP Business Technology Platform. Could you please share with us how the platform has brought the vision of ADB SafeGate into reality?
Yeah, so we are using the BTP platform to run all our interfaces and all our integration on top of it. And next to the BTP platform, we have also activated or are also using the ALM platform to monitor all of that. So in one central place, we have all the interfaces running, and on the other place, we have everything being monitored. So that gives us the advantage that we have only one place to look into if we have any problem with our solutions or any problem with the integration. So this is very efficient for us to work like that.
Okay, thank you very much. We are approaching the end of the panel. So first of all, thank you very much for all your trust in SAP and also sharing your journey with us here today. Just before ending the panel, I want to ask you, Dimitri, please tell me what, in your view, are the key reasons why customers choose RISE S/4HANA Cloud?
Thank you, great question. So first of all, it's a service delivery model. We offer one contract, one SLA, where we take care of operationally running your SAP system for you, which then brings that you can focus on the business process redesign and focus on transformation and enabling new business models to stay agile and competitive in your market. And we can do that with you, or our broad vested ecosystem can do that as well. Secondly, it is lower risk. When you have multiple parties involved running your systems, there's a lot of finger pointing when something goes wrong, and it takes a longer time to get into resolution. Bearing in mind, we're running here mission critical systems, I don't think that is something you want. So with this one contract, one SLA, we run it for you. There are no discussions. It's SAP running SAP. We provide also a target architecture. Also, there's a lot of hidden cost linked to governance if you do it with multiple parties, right? Then the other thing is security. We take a lot of pride in the security hardening steps we do when we provision our system, and that is, I think, also something what keeps the CIO awake. So, and then the last thing is all about reducing the complexity. I think through standardization and reducing the complexity in business and IT processes, higher automation and efficiency can be achieved. And the impact of this complexity reduction and a simpler operating model is often also next to having a more agile operating model, is also achieve a lower TCO, which is, I think, also very important to our customers nowadays, more than ever.
Yes, thank you very much, Dimitri. And indeed, I can recognize a few of those things that you just mentioned in the stories as well from Mark and Bart. With that, we are finalizing the panel for today. Thank you for joining the panel, and I will head back over to Enda. Thank you.
Last but not least, let's talk about innovation. We tend to prefer to stay within our comfort zone, but does this behaviour help us survive when the winds are against us, or when we have to face unexpected events? The way forward is through innovation. SAP has been innovating for the past 50 years. So let's be inspired now by our next session. Over to you guys.
What we have seen today was truly inspiring. Demonstrations of the power of the technology, customers addressing their current concerns, and bright ideas with SAP solutions, solutions that are available and affordable. Customers transforming their business to the cloud with the scalable ERP in the cloud, ensuring agility, speed, and exceptional business outcomes. Customers using the business technology platform for sustainability, data to value, and hyper automation. Customers building future-ready workforce and redefining the workplace. And all the customer experience with omnichannel customer engagement, connect customer service, and intelligence commerce. All these solutions and tools that enable us to tackle the present and plan for the future. And we all know that planning ahead is so vital because we need to be prepared. We don't want too many surprises. However, planning for the future is not easy because the future is by nature uncertain. No one can perfectly predict what it will bring. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States of America, once said, and that was referenced by Alan Kay, and many others, by the way, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Thus, planning is crucial, and we are to better anticipate events, opportunities, desired success, and probably the odd future failure, which we can learn from, right? So, planning for tomorrow means being able to innovate. Innovation is that ability to stay ahead and sometimes create what has never been created before. Innovation is now more affordable than ever. It helps you reach those goals when the wind is against you. With the right support, the right partners, and the right innovations, you will succeed. If the ecosystem is strong, your business will be protected and thrive.
Speaking of innovation, I'm always inspired by Steve Jobs. You can't ask customers what they want and then try to give that to them. By the time you get it built, they will want something new.
Innovation is about being ahead of customer needs. Innovation is about combining multiple ideas, multiple objects, and creating a new idea, a new object. That's the way innovation works. Innovation is not reserved to a small number of individuals. Everybody can innovate. And in fact, everybody is innovating. For instance, and coming back to Steve Jobs, smartphones are only about 12 years old, but they have revolutionized the way we use Not just phones, but cameras, camcorders, audio recording systems, and the way we consume TV, videos, music, games, and many more. 12 years ago, we carried all these gears around, and thus we kind of auto-limited us. Today, everything is feasible with one and only one device in our pocket. Innovation is what has inspired and moved SAP for the last 50 years. And it still does. From R1, the very first real-time operational system back in 1972, to SAP HANA in 2010, and SAP S/4HANA a little bit later, from mainframes to distributed cloud systems, SAP have never stopped to innovate for our customers, partners, and ecosystem. To give you an idea, SAP invested more than 5.19 billion euros in 2021 in R&D. In EMEA North, we have thousands of partners from small to large ready to help you. On this platform, you'll find more than 150 success stories for you to get inspired and get confidence in the ecosystem. The ecosystem is the key to your innovation, now and on the long run. Nevertheless, in that sense, and following Albert Einstein, who once said, innovation is everyone's responsibility, not just R&D. That's why we will soon be hosting a fantastic one-day physical event, specifically designed for you, our customers. This event is called the Innovation Forum and will take place in March 2023. We are currently preparing the agenda and a very special venue for you as we speak, so that you can live through an unforgettable experience north of Paris, a 19th century chateau that has both a very modern and historical character. During that day, you will get to know what innovation really means at SAP. You'll meet thought leaders, world-renowned speakers will talk about innovation in their respective domains, fields, industries. And you'll be able to interact with your peers from the EMEA North region.
The main theme of Innovation Forum is Innovation for Life. Innovation for Life puts the planet back at the center of our thoughts and actions. This is a very large theme, so we have divided into 3 main topics. Innovation for people, where the people, human beings, are our focus, not forgetting, of course, the wider theme. Innovation for society, where we concentrate on being a group, a company working within a society to make the world work better for us all. Innovation for environment, where our global surroundings and our immediate vicinity are at the center of our explorations, while keeping the human beings and wider society in mind.
These 3 topics will be the red thread of our day. Every exhibition in a 240 square meter room, every experience and every conversation will focus on these themes.
We look forward to welcoming you in March 2023 and delivering you this unmissable experience. And by the way, why not make your own contribution? Should you wish to do so, please use this QR code. Remember, each of us has a clear role in creating a better future.
Thank you, Sandrine. And now, back to you, Enda.
Normal. Looking back, learning, being in the present, looking to the future. Armed with the right tools, we can achieve so much. Profitable sustainability, turning data to value, hyper-automation, happy customers, a happy workforce. To find out more, why not go to our Always On platform, where you can browse through more content, listen to our experts, hear customer success stories, enjoy exhibitions, book a meeting, and so much more. SAP have listened. We've talked to our customers, business people and partners. We've all learned. We keep learning. We innovate. Knowledge and wisdom are power. Ideas can move mountains. It's up to us. Let's shape tomorrow together. We've learned so much from you, so please don't forget to send us your feedback by scanning this QR code. Thanks for watching.